Hello, it's Molly with Design Loves Detail, and we're going to take a tour of the backyard today. I've been so excited to show this to you, so let's go. A couple weeks ago, I shared a tour of our front yard, and now we're checking out the backyard. We're coming off of the pantry space, so you can kind of see how that all connects. And I will walk you through the whole layout of the backyard. If you're new to our channel, we'd love to have you subscribe and leave a comment while you're here. But first of all, this path, you can kind of see, is a gravel. It's like a chat, I think is what it's called. I love the way this looks. I think it's super hard to live with. So if I could do it over, I would actually there's some product out of Italy that's actually like, it looks like this, but it's more of like a tan color. And it's got an epoxy over it. So it actually looks like little stones, but it's not loose. So I will be sharing more on that later. It's a newer product, but anyways, for now, let's kind of talk about the house colors and stuff while we're back here. I've covered this a little bit, but kind of wanted to just hit on those because I know a lot of people ask about paint colors. The stucco color is one that we had matched to Sherwin-Williams A New Gray. So that is actually one word, A New Gray. And it's really got a little bit of a green undertone, as you can see. I wanted to have a subtle hint of that because I love green, but also it's kind of neutral. So it goes really well with the stone. And this stone is actually a product from Harris Stone. So it's a concrete, not a real stone, it's a manufactured stone, which is kind of cool because I think when you do it overgraded, you can't even tell that it's not a natural stone, which I love. And we did pair that with, I mixed some colors together. I think I mixed like white and gray so that we had like a light gray grout. But that you can see kind of has a little bit of the old world look, a little bit of European. I love how pretty much every country in Europe they each have their own unique style, of course, but I love that consistent throughout is just that architecture that feels like just has so much more age to it naturally because it's a lot older than what we have in the US. Anyway, I love that, and I wanted to bring kind of that European flair, a little bit of, I would say it's kind of like a vineyard inspired home. That was what I was aiming for with this. So definitely a little touches of like the Italian countryside. And here I did one of the big lanterns above the door, just for kind of like a little character detail. And then I love that we did kind of a tone on tone with the windows in this home. It was a little bit quirky. I hadn't really done that, but I do love it. The windows are Sherwin-Williams paved stone. So that's kind of what you see for the double doors there and our windows throughout. So we'll step over here really quick. This is going to be our outdoor kitchen. This is getting built this summer, so that'll be really exciting. We left, you can see we left some of the stone unfinished because that peninsula for the kitchen is actually going to come right off of there. And we'll just kind of have a built-in grill, a little seating area, like a countertop area. And then I think that's probably a little storage, maybe a little cabinetry under. So it'll just be kind of like along this way. And then that will give us a little bit more to our entertaining space so we can grill over here. And I'll probably reconfigure this a little bit, maybe at least shift it, because we do have the TV out here, which is fun. We use that a lot. My kids actually love to come out here and watch TV. Just kind of a cute little spot to hang out. And this is a built-in planter over here. As you can see, we finished off the top of the stone areas, the stone walls. They have just this is like a concrete cap. I just went with a gray for that so that it has a little bit more of a finished look, but we still have, of course, the sort of raw feel of the stone. I love that contrast. This is kind of fun little niche over here. We have this stairwell that bumps out. And this little tree was kind of a cool little add because this will just kind of grow up and give us a fun little, and we did, I am having a rough patch here. We did add some outdoor lighting on the trees so it looks really beautiful here at night. If I can, I'll grab a little footage of that to show you, but I love that light shining up on the trees and just kind of giving it a magical feel at night and makes this little alcove kind of unique and quirky. So yeah, this shelter area is just kind of a covered patio, and we did these are a Douglas fir beam that we stained. I went with kind of a little bit darker stain. It's almost like a wash, just like subtle, but has a richer tone to it. And I love how that turned out. It gives kind of, I think, a little bit of that Tuscan feel as well. So there's that. And then we're gonna head up these stairs. We did a couple. The thing that was really a challenge with this yard, and some of you all might run into this too, is we really are building, you can see up behind me, we really are building into the mountainside. So it was not one of those lots where we could have a walkout basement. In fact, it was quite the opposite, where the lot sloped up. So we had to really get creative, and I love how this turned out. I worked with a couple different companies on this. Northland Design helped me with the initial layout, and then I wanted to make some adjustments and called in Mike Pyle Design. He helped me do all the plants and kind of just get everything finalized and adjusted to what I wanted. So he had a show on HGTV. Some of you guys might know who he is. He's really talented. So if you're looking for a landscape designer, he's awesome and actually really quite reasonable for what he provides too. He made me a really cool 3D model and all this stuff. So we're gonna head up the stairs here. You can kind of see this built-in planter is cool. One of our trees died, so we'll pull that out, I think. I don't know what happened to it, but that one has to get taken out. And I did do here, you can see kind of a mix of, these are the pavers. These are from Bellegarde. I'll put the color name on the screen if I can find it. And then these are just a natural stone that we were able to get locally. And sometimes what you can get locally just varies. You know, sometimes the color and all that is hard to be able to dictate just because they're pulling it, you know, out of the local sources. But anyway, here we are at the top. So really this is the upper layer of the yard, and well, it was important to Ben. Ben loves a good grassy spot. So for sports and all the things like that, this was the perfect ad. All right, and then just so you can kind of get a feel for the yard and how cool it is to really see the different levels. You can see back down in there how it all kind of lays out, and we'll go kind of cover these areas as well. But I love that you get just such a cool mix of like intimate spaces with all of these little alcove type spots we built. It really has made it so the yard can have a lot of different uses and all at once, you know, where people can kind of gather in different spots of the yard. And I'm so excited for, you know, the summer hosting. I'm gonna have a dinner party soon, probably to celebrate my birthday. So that's gonna be really exciting. And, you know, it's just turned out really well because I was nervous about a lot of it. There's things I might have adjusted a little, like I was saying, I wouldn't have done the loose gravel and some things like that. I'll kind of call them out as we go through. But overall, the way that the yard turned out, I am so happy with. I think it's so cool. And it's really nice. We have 0.93 of an acre, so it's almost an acre with the different levels of elevation. It was tricky. I will say it was a little hard. We had a lot of expense with bringing in the stones for retaining, and there's a lot of different ways you can do retaining. I really tried to keep as much of it on the more natural side. Obviously, I use natural loosely, but I do prefer using like a natural stone versus, you know, sometimes people do like just concrete walls or something. I wanted to warm it up as much as I could, which is why we did the plaster. I'll show you the plaster walls. But here's our garden area. We have not planted in our planter boxes yet, and we're gonna have to put probably some chicken wire or whatever around these because the deer love to come eat the things. You can actually see on all of our trees, they all have leaves to the same point. Like for instance, these branches used to have leaves on them, these lower ones, but the deer just come and eat them off. So luckily they can't reach the top of these, and so we still have some greenery, but it's fun to see them out the window, so it's trade-off. They eat our plants, but we get to see them, so, you know, everybody wins, I guess. All right, so we're gonna go down to this other area. We're gonna walk down the stairs here. These ones are like just a poured concrete. And you can see the plaster wall like I was talking about. We'll come over on this side. This is our hot tub area, which I can roll for you so you can see what it looks like. But I wanted to kind of show this area. So I'm actually going to put, I can't remember if we talked about this before. Have I ever shared this? I don't think so. I want to do a built-in bench area, and then we'll do like a linear fire pit right here, like a fire pit table, and then just like a built-in bench so that it can kind of be like people in the hot tub and you can hang out over here. Currently, I just planted some rose bushes and might add trellis until we get this part built out, but that's my vision for it. Over here, I think we're gonna do like a swing, like build a structure with like a hanging swing right here, because there's really beautiful views out that way. So right now, again, I kind of just improvised. We have a little random pot there, but it's cool because this lot, you know, it backs right into what is a ravine over here. So no one's gonna build down in there. It just kind of goes down and then back up. So it's really, really nice to have that on the side of our property because it just feels so private and gives you all the mountain experience, which is cool. Over on this side, we have just kind of like a little accent area. I want to turn this into a water feature, this little trough here. So I need to work that out, but that's a vintage stone trough, so it kind of has that European feel again. And then this little sitting area is just one that's right off our primary suite. So here's me and Ben's room, and then it's so cool that we have that hot tub, you know, right off of this space. It makes it a little more private how it's tucked over there. So I really love this. This is a great place to come sit in the morning. In fact, Ben and I were sitting out here this morning just chatting it up. And I did do a video sharing all of the furniture back here in a few videos back. If you look at that Wayfair Memorial Day video, that one had the featuring all of the patio furniture. So if you want to see that more in depth, you can check that out. But over here is more of like the common space for everyone to gather. And I love this. We did the circular, and it's just really nice conversationally to be able to have a lot of space for people to sit. And then of course you can see these details again with the light fixtures. I need to fix the glass on this one, it got loose. But I like these light fixtures because they have the black and then also that brassy bronze tone. So just a little bit of that mixed metal feel. And then these are the doors that go into our living room. So we've got a tour if you want to see the inside of that. That one was a little earlier this year too, the living room refresh. But these doors again are in that Sherwin-Williams paved stone color. So that gives you a feel for that. These are actually what I did for the exterior windows and doors, as well as the stucco color. They're really actually gray tones with a green undertone. So it just kind of picks up in the stone a little bit of that. You can probably see it better in the shade here. A little more of those tones that kind of, they're actually grays, but they read, I don't know if it, and I don't know how it shows up on the camera, but in person, it's got a green, a little bit of that green undertone. So super subtle. And then, anyway, we'll walk over here to the other, this is like the dining space, I guess. I went back and forth on if we wanted this to be the sitting area or the dining, but I really just always envisioned having a dinner party here by the fireplace, have that fireplace on at night so it feels cozy and inviting. So it's a little bit further to walk over here, and maybe somebody would lay it out different, but I've liked this, and maybe we'll, you know, adjust in the future, but I've been really happy with the feel of this, how it looks. I love the stripes on the umbrella. This feels a little bit French to me. So we have a little maybe French countryside mixed in with that Italian countryside. And you know, I just love Europe, all of it. So I love to bring a little bit of that age and interest and charm. It's just charming. Oh, anyway, and these chairs are a really cool, little more texture. I just wanted something interesting and different. They were a TJ Maxx find. So I'll link everything that I can for you, as always, in the description at the bottom of the video. And some things are sold out, or I'll link similar if I can find it, but just that's where you go, is to the description. Let's flip over here one more time because I want to show you. I don't know if you guys have planted rosemary, but I love rosemary as like a really, sometimes people ask me like plant recommendations, and I think this is one of my favorites. Love how it smells. You can use it for cooking, and then also it's just got a really organic, pretty look to it. So I think that probably sums up most of the yard. I guess we'll go back a little bit because I didn't talk about this little cylinder here. I did add these planters, and these have a drip line to them, so we did plumb to have a drip line to these planters here. I'm gonna look for something that's probably clay or stone, but I just bought these ones the other day and they are pretty cute, just to have something for now. They're a plastic resin or something from Lowe's, and they're doing the job for now, but we'll see if I can find something that's maybe more of like a more natural material. This is something I want to turn into a water feature as well. So really cool, just a round antique carved stone. These things are so heavy, but you can sometimes find these at antique markets or supplier, like importers. I go to a place in Arizona that gets these and they're super cool. But I think that pretty much covered everything. This is the plaster again, the plaster walls. And for those, I went with Benjamin Moore Pale Oak. So I matched that plaster color to the Benjamin Moore color Pale Oak. So it's kind of a creamy tone, and I love how that all blends together. Ben, maybe give us a shot of all of it. That's kind of it. So let me know in questions if y'all have any questions, if I missed anything. I'd love to hear your thoughts of what you might love or hate or whatever. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week with a new video.